$0, $100 million. And every step in between changes how you sleep at night, not how flashy your car is. You are standing on one of these levels right now. Probably not the one you think. Let's walk up from 0 and find exactly where you are. Ever notice how every raise disappears within 3 months? Ever wonder why someone making 6 figures feels as broke as they did at 30,000? Here's the truth nobody talks about. Wealth is not the number in your account. It's the gap between what you make and what you spend. And at every level, from 0 to 100 million, there's a trap waiting. It has a name: the lifestyle tax. We're going to walk through 8 levels, from survival at 0 to irrelevance at 100 million. And when we get to the top, I'm going to show you the one level that actually changes everything. It's not the one you think, and it's probably not the highest number. Right now, someone making $50,000 a year is sleeping better than someone making $2 million. Same hours in the day, same stress about money. But one has $12,000 saved. The other has negative $30,000 in their checking account. The difference is the gap, and whether they protected it or let the lifestyle tax consume it. Over the next 10 minutes, you're going to see every level, what it feels like, what changes, what doesn't. And at the end, the level most people think is freedom, it's actually the most dangerous trap on the entire staircase. I've lived at 4 of these levels, and I can tell you the feeling at each one with surgical precision. 23, I made $18,000 a year. Every purchase required a negotiation with my future self. At 29, I made $65,000. I felt rich for exactly 4 months. Then my spending caught up. That's the lifestyle tax. It's the silent system that makes every raise feel temporary. Your spending quietly rises to swallow every raise. And the feeling of broke just moves to a higher tax bracket. The entire economy is designed to help you spend more the moment you earn more. Algorithms, marketing, social proof. Your landlord knows when you got a raise before your family does. Your inbox knows. Your Instagram feed knows. This is not about discipline. This is about understanding that every level has its own version of the tax, and that the only way to beat it is to see it. So let's see it. But first, the step that almost broke me was step 4. And you'll know why the second we get there. We start at the bottom. Level 1, $0. This is not about being homeless. This is about having nothing saved and living check to check with 0 margin. 78% of Americans have been here. Most are here right now. Let's walk through what it actually feels like. Level 1, $0 saved. Survival mode. Here's the myth. People at this level just need to budget better. Here's the reality. At 0, every decision is filtered through fear. Your brain is in survival mode. Literally, a car repair is not an inconvenience. It's a financial catastrophe that cascades into late fees, overdrafts, and missed work. The math. One unexpected $400 expense costs the average person at this level $1,200 over 3 months. The psychology. You cannot think long-term when short-term survival is uncertain. This is not weakness. This is biology. The protocol. The only goal at this level is to build $1,000. That's it. $1,000 changes the entire equation, because the next level, it's the first time you sleep through the night in years. Level 2, $1,000 to $10,000 saved. First breath. Most people never talk about this level because it sounds too small. It's not. This is the first time an emergency is not a catastrophe. That shift is massive. The math. With $3,000 saved, you avoid an average of $42 per month in overdraft and late fees. That's $504 a year. The psychology. Your brain exits survival mode. You start to see options again. You can think past next week. The protocol. Keep 6 months of basic expenses in a high-yield savings account. Not invested, liquid, boring, safe. But here's where the first version of the lifestyle tax appears. You feel safer, so you start spending again. The car gets an upgrade. The apartment gets an extra room. the budget expands to fill the new space. And you stay here forever, unless you protect the gap. Unless you climb to level 3 while keeping your spending at level 2. Which brings us to level 3. 10,000 to 50,000 saved. Solid ground. Stop right here. This level is where most people think they've made it. And it's exactly where the lifestyle tax sets the biggest trap. At this level, you stop fearing every surprise expense. The roof needs repair? Annoying, not devastating. The math. $25,000 invested in index funds becomes $130,000 in 15 years at 7%. The psychology. You feel competent. You've built something real. And that feeling makes you vulnerable to the tax. Because this is where you start comparing. Your coworker bought a house. Your friend drives a Tesla. Your lifestyle still looks like level 2. The protocol? Freeze your lifestyle here. Every raise from this point forward goes to investments, not to a nicer apartment, but nobody does this. Because level 4 is screaming at you, and level 4 looks like success. Level 4. 50,000 to 150,000 in income. The trap. This is the most psychologically dangerous level on the entire staircase. Here's the myth. Making 6 figures means you've made it. You can finally afford the life you've been delaying. Here's the reality. Your income went up, but the feeling of wealthy didn't, and you have no idea why. I lived here for 3 years. Let me show you exactly what happened. At 31, I got a raise from $42,000 to $78,000 in 1 year. I thought I won. First thing I did, moved from a $700 apartment to a $1,400 apartment. Same city, nicer building. $700 per month, $8,400 per year. But wait. The nicer building meant nicer neighbors, who went to nicer restaurants, who wore nicer clothes, who drove nicer cars. And suddenly, my wardrobe felt cheap. My wardrobe upgrade? $3,000. My car upgrade, because the parking garage made my Honda look ridiculous, $6,000 down, $350 per month. Here's the math. My raise was $36,000 per year. My new recurring expenses were $18,000 per year. The raise was cut in half before I ever invested $1. The lifestyle tax claimed 50% in under 4 months. The psychology. I thought I deserved it. I had worked hard. I had earned the upgrade. That belief cost me retirement. The protocol. When you get a raise, wait 6 months before changing anything. Live like you didn't get it. Automate the difference into investments. Because here's what nobody tells you. The apartment I moved to, the neighbors I tried to keep up with, they were all broke too. Level 5. 150,000 to 500,000 in income. Quiet confidence. This is where the feeling finally shifts. This is walking away money. You negotiate from strength, not desperation. You can say no. The math. If you kept your spending at $70,000 and invested the rest, you're adding $50,000 per year to investments minimum. Over 10 years at 7%, that's $720,000. You've built real wealth without feeling it. The psychology. Money stops being a daily thought. You think in months and years, not in paychecks. But the lifestyle tax still hunts you. At this level, the tax wears a different mask. It's called keeping up professionally. The protocol? Spend on what genuinely brings value or saves time. Cut everything that's just signaling success to people you don't respect. Level 6. 500,000 to 1 million in income. The machine. Your money starts working harder than you do. This is the velocity effect. Your investments generate enough to cover your lifestyle without touching the principal. This is the level where the gap becomes a fortress, and the lifestyle tax finally loses. Level 7. 1 million to 10 million. Freedom. Time becomes the currency. Money stops being the question. You choose your projects. You choose your people. You choose your Tuesdays. That's the real shift. Level 8. 10 million to 100 million. irrelevance. Money stops meaning anything. The question shifts entirely. It becomes, to whom or what will I give my life? What will I build that outlasts me? At this level, every financial decision is about meaning, not need. And most people here are lonelier than they were at level 3. So we've climbed all 8 levels, from 0 to 100 million. And here's what you need to understand. The level that actually changes your life is not at the top. It's right in the middle. Remember when I said you're standing on one of these levels right now? Probably not the one you think. Most people measure their level by income. That's the wrong metric. The right metric is the gap. The lifestyle tax appears at every single level. At 0, it's fees. At 50,000, it's the nicer apartment. At 500,000, it's professional signaling. The tax doesn't care what you make. It only cares that it grows with you. And it will, unless you see it. The first level, where you break the tax, where you keep your spending flat while your income rises, that's the level that changes everything. That moment is not at 8 figures. It's at the level where you choose the gap over the upgrade. Here's the big picture. Wealth is not a number. It's a gap you protect. It's the space between what you make and what you need to feel okay. Someone at 50,000 with peace of mind is richer than someone at 2 million imprisoned by their lifestyle. That's not philosophy. That's math. And no level is better than another. The difference is that each person worked hard on the path that was right for them. This is one system. It works at every income level. But now you see it, and you cannot unsee it. So here are your 2 paths. Path 1. You let your spending rise with your income. You climb the stairs, but the gap stays the same. In 10 years, you make more. You spend more. You feel exactly the same level of financial stress you feel right now. Path 2. You freeze your spending at your current level. Every raise, every bonus, every side income, it goes to the gap. In 10 years, you've built real wealth. And more importantly, you've built real peace. That's the difference. You came here feeling uncertain about where you stand. You leave knowing exactly where you are and exactly what the trap looks like. You understand that the lifestyle tax is real and that it's hunting you at every income level. And that is something nobody can take from you. Not your employer, not the market, not the algorithm trying to sell you the upgrade. Pull out your phone right now. Open your banking app. Look at last month's spending. Find one recurring charge that serves the tax, not you. Cancel it. If this opened your eyes, subscribe. More is coming. If you learned something today, hit subscribe and drop a comment below. See you in the next one.